Hi everyone, this is Amít from City of Mist. Thank you for joining me again. Today I'm going to talk to you about narrative damage and statuses in City of Mist. But before that, I would like to say thank you very much to everyone who has taken an interest in our game. We've had a huge response and we've already had over 1,600 downloads in 1 week, which is incredible. We didn't think it would explode this way, and a lot of people communicating with us on our communities, Google Plus community and Facebook, and on our pages and Twitter. So thank you very much, and we're going to continue and create cool things for you. We are going on Kickstarter, and right now it's planned for the end of September, but we will release a date officially. So today I want to talk to you about statuses and why I call them narrative damage. So in City of Mist there are no hit points and there is no harm like other Apocalypse Engine games. What we use to describe damage or conditions in City of Mist is called statuses. And the reason I call them narrative damage is that statuses really do not focus so much as maybe in other games on a realistic or numerical simulation of damage, something very kind of statistical and maybe accurate. Instead, what statuses do is they focus on the story effect or story impact of a condition that the character has. So you can read more about them on the rules book, of course, but I just wanted to share with you three really fun things about using statuses in your game. First thing about statuses is that statuses have a tag, which can be anything under the sun. So you can actually create on the fly any condition that your character is affected by now, whether it's positive or negative. So your character can obviously be injured and chained and restrained and passed out and all these things, but it can also be frustrated or happy, cornered, coordinated with the rest of her team, in touch with another dimension, or any other thing you can think of. Anything you can think of basically can become a status, which is incredible. So for today, maybe we can take the example of, let's say you're fighting the legend of the witch from Hansel and Gretel, and she has the power to kind of make you into a candy or something like that. So you could actually have a status of sugar rush when you're fighting that witch. That's one example, but you can think of a million more, and that's the beauty of it. You don't have to plan it. You just, whenever something happens in the game, wham, you can just write it down, and the tag becomes a status. The other fun thing about statuses is that every status has a significant impact on the game. So statuses also have a tier, which is a number attached to the tag between 1 and 6. And whenever you take an action that's relevant or related to the status you have, that tier is actually reduced from the power of your roll, which means that it affects your chances of succeeding that action. This is actually the main impact that statuses have in the game. They just reduce your ability to take actions in the game or increase it. So if the status was positively related to something that you're doing, you would add its tier to the power of your action. This means that any one of those tags that I just mentioned actually have an impact on your story. There is never such a thing as taking damage without a story impact in City of Mist. The last thing that's really cool about statuses is that they stack really well with one another. So we use to mark or to track statuses, we use these status spectrum cards that I'm going to show you now. And these, of course, show you the tier at the top and then the tag, and then there's some text that's supposed to help you figure it out. But this is just a cutout. It's really a prototype, and we're going to have a new version of those for the Kickstarter. So whenever you get a status, you just write the tag and circle the tier. But when you get a similar status, something, let's say you were hit by a punch and then you're hit by a car, God forbid, your character, and then let's say that the witch from Hansel and Gretel smacks you with her lollipop wand, and then she, I don't know what, tries to turn you into a uh, candy version of yourself. All these things stack together. And how do they stack? So if you take a status that's a higher tier than what you have right now on the same spectrum, you just mark the higher tier. But if you take a status that's equal or lower in tier to what you already have, you start marking the boxes right of your current status until you reach the next tier. So let's say you got Sugar Rush 2 when the witch first hit you, and then she hits you again with Sugar Rush 2. You're going to mark the box right of 2, and then the box for 3. 2 boxes altogether because you were hit by Sugar Rush 2. And that's going to take you up to the next status, to tier 3. Sorry, to the next tier, to tier 3. If you're going to get hit again by Sugar Rush 2, you're going to mark the 2 boxes right of 3, but that's not going to be enough to take you to tier 4. So as you can see, lower statuses take more time to build up, and higher statuses have more impact. They just take you right there to the top of the spectrum. So on tier 5, you're actually out. You can't take any actions related to this status. So if you're happy 5, you're unable to take any actions, maybe because you're blissed out and you don't want to take any actions. You're just fine the way you are. And of course, this could be something else. If you were injured, you could pass out, and so on and so forth. The interpretation changes based on the status. And on tier 6, your character moves over to the hands of the MC, the GM. And they decide something very dramatic is going to happen to your character. Your character could die, she could lose themes, she could change forever. For example, if you got hit by the Hansel and Gretel witch enough times to go to tier 6, maybe she actually turned you into a candified version of yourself and, preserved by sugar, and you're going to become one of the ornaments on her house. Who knows? So this was just a short video to show you the statuses and share with you how cool they are. And what I would like to ask from you now is to go out and play this game, of course, and let us know on the comments or in the Facebook group, Google Plus community, or Twitter, what are the coolest statuses that you came up with in your game. So that's it for now. We'll be seeing you later, and let's be in touch in the comments. Bye for now.